I'm Bet from Bet's Makes, and today we're going to make an off-center gatefold card with a couple of wonderful little embellishments. So this is what we're going to be making today. This is a little card that has a knob and handle that opens up the card. It has a beautiful little embellishment here with the little edges that pop out. And then, of course, when you open up the center, you have another embellishment where you can write your greeting. So simply 2 kinds of cardstock is all you need, double-sided for one and just a plain color for the other. So let's move over to Cricut Design Space and start designing. Here we are in Cricut Design Space, and of course we're going to be working on our off-center gatefold card with pop-outs. So let's start by going to Upload. And what we're going to do is we're going to upload a file called Gatefold Card Off Center. So that's the one you want to bring in. I'm just going to insert it. I have given you the SVG file. Now we don't need the text right now, so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here on the Layers panel. And I am just going to turn off my text. Okay, so this is how everything comes in. It is all grouped together. Well, we don't want it grouped right now, so we're going to ungroup it. But I'm going to click on the card part, and I want to look at this. And it has score and a basic cut, and you'll notice that this is all attached together already, so we don't have to do a thing with it. I can just move it off to the side. But what I will note that this is 1/3 the card here, and 2/3 here, and of course the other part is here. So this is of the fold over is 1/3, 2/3, and this is a full size in the middle. So it's off center when it does fold. Now we have this little circle here. When I click on the circle here, it is also attached together, has a score line. So this is an embellishment that will go over top, and I'm just going to change the arrangement here. I'm going to bring it to the front so that we can see it. So when you have the card closed, this is going to go over top of it. That's a nice little shape. You can do it in any color that you want. Now we have 2 sets of embellishments. One, which is this one, and these are not attached together at this point, so, and neither are these. So let's see if I can just get one at a time. Oh, looks like they are grouped together, so I am going to ungroup them. And what I want to do is just group each one individually. Wants to grab everything that I don't want it to have. Okay, let's start with this one. I'll just grab this. I'm going to make sure it's grouped, and I want to make sure this is attached. The reason I want to make sure it's attached because I don't want all my little embellishments on the sides to come apart. So I'm going to have to do the same here. Just be careful I don't hit the other card, and I am. Okay, let me move this guy out of the way. You just want this card. I'm going to group it, and I am going to attach it. Now you may wonder what this is going to look like. All of these little pieces are cutouts, and they're going to open up. This one, now I'll bring this back over, is going to go into the middle of the card so you can handwrite a greeting inside of it. And this one is going to go on the outside of the card, on the other side of this, and it's also going to open up with the little areas. So we have 3 different embellishments that we're going to use here. Now that is all we have to do with this particular item inside Design Space because you already have the template. You just have to break it apart, make sure everything's attached properly. Now these ones are all cuts. These are cuts. This has a score and a cut, and this of course has a score and a cut. So let's move over now to, well, I guess we should save this. So I'm just going to call it Off Center Gatefold. Save it. And let's go over to Make It. They're telling us it's a big project. Now we should have 3 separate mats, and that depends on the material that you're going to use. Now I'm going to use a medium cardstock for everything, so I'm going to put everything on one mat. In order to do that, I click on the 3 circles here. I'm going to move this object, and I am going to move it to the card mat and just confirm it. I just put this over in the corner for now, and let's go to the bottom one. Now we have two objects here. We're going to move those on the same mat as well. So I'm going to move this object back over to the mat in the center. Let's pull it down over here, and we have one more object here. I'm going to take that ellipse, I'm going to move that object, and I'm going to put it into the center here. Now I'm just going to place them down here so I can put different colors here and here and here to see what I'm going to get. I'm just so happen I'm going to cut all three of these out of the same piece of paper, so I'm just going to snuggle them up. And you'll notice that I am right against it, so I just need a piece of paper that's 6.5 long and just 12 inches, and this one happens to be 5.5. That's why everything fits on the same mat. So I can use two different colors here as long as I'm using the same material. Okay, let's click on continue. And as you can see, it comes up with all my materials. I'm going to use a medium cardstock. Now these are set as my favorites. You can do that by clicking on Browse All Materials and finding, I'll just put in cardstock for now, see what we come up with. Click on the search. So I could pick a cardstock, say a heavy one, but I could also make it a favorite by clicking on the star on the side here. I have craft cardstock, all kinds of cardstock. I have pattern glitter cardstock, all kinds that you use. Well, I'm in and out of this all the time. I'm just going to close this. So I have already starred a number of things that I use all the time. In this case, we're going to use a medium cardstock. And because we're using one mat, we don't have to worry about mirror or anything like that. It's telling us it's going to score, and then it's going to do the basic cut. So go ahead and cut this, and then we'll be right back, and we'll go over to the demo table and put the whole thing together. So here we are at the demo table, and I just used a double-sided cardstock for my cut. So I have a nice floral design on one side and a plain one on the inside. But I'm going to fold it so that this is on the inside, and we have a couple of score lines here, 2/3 and 1/3. Sometimes they're a little tough. I just bend them a little bit until they appear. There's the first one. And then we'll have another one about 1/3 of the way. And I just bend it a little bit until it appears for me. There, it looks like we have it right there. Perfect. Now these do blend in together, so that's where we had made a little extra to go on the knob here. So we're going to glue this one on so it'll open like this. Now these ones have little areas that you can just fold up just to give it a little extra. We're going to glue that into place here. There's a score line in the center to make that easy to fold up. Now we have two other pieces that we put together, and they all came out as wonderful little edges. So what we're going to do is pull up the little pieces. We're going to fold those up and leave the middle part down. So these are going to make a nice little design. Let's bring those all up. Take a little while to get them all up to where we want. Oh, that one's going backwards. There we go. Sometimes you just have to look for it. I see got a little extra piece of paper here. We'll get rid of that. Wonderful. As you can see, you get this really nice little effect coming out, and of course you can put a greeting on that as well. Now this is going to come right here, so we may flatten some of those down a little bit because we want to seal it here with a little message with this on top, and then this will open up, and we can do the same thing with this. We don't need to be as vibrant with this one, but this is going to go on the inside, same type of deal. It will show up that way. So this is a great little card. So let's start by putting this piece in place. I am simply going to glue this one down. I'm not going to use foam pads or dots or the glue itself. I'm going to use a double-sided tape. And because I don't need a lot, I'm just going to put a couple of strips. One here. And one on the other side. I want to show through, so let's just clip that off. Now to take these pieces off, I'm just going to go into my little tool kit here, and I could use a pair of tweezers, but I have a little hook that I'm going to use. Mine has a little bend on the end. So I like that little bend, and what it does is it just forces the edge of it away. I'm just getting the top of it. There we go. I got the first piece. This over there. Go. And there's the second piece. So what I want to try and do is, looks like this is the piece we flattened on this side, so I'm going to put it approximately here. This is just an example of what you can do, and of course you want to bring this out so it looks really cute. Gives a little pop-out effect with it. And then of course we want to put the other design on here, because you want to use this as a little knob so that you're pulling it up. So all I need to do is make sure that the edges are in place. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my dots. If you haven't used dots before, these are wonderful. And let's see how far down. You can barely see these ones. There's one sitting right here. And all I have to do with this is simply push it on the edge like this. And it should pull right off the paper. There we go. So when I push it down, I'm going to get my little zot right in the place where I want it to go. Now I might just add a little glue on this side because I only want the one zot just to make sure it stays into place. So I'm just going to use a little bit of tacky glue here. Just want to make sure I get this piece. I want to get carried away. You don't need too much glue. Put it on so it doesn't dry out. So a little bit here, and then the heavier piece. Now this is the knob. I want to make sure it comes out. There we go. And this is so that you can pull the card open. This is a really cute little card. Let's move my zots out of the way. And you open it up, and of course you have another greeting. And with this greeting, simply use some more of that double-sided tape. Just going to use 4 little pieces here. And one more. Oh, sticking to me. Put that off to the side. Let's take off the backing. There's one. The backing of these tapes really has static electricity and it will cling to you, so just be careful. Last piece. There we go. Okay, once again, you just want to center it as best as possible because it is forming a nice little pattern. That looks pretty good. And all you need to do now is write your greeting. So this is our wonderful little off-center gatefold card. Has a little handle to open up the card. You could glue it in place there if you wanted to, so it stays in place. Nice little edges here that pop out, and you open up your card. So I really hope you enjoyed putting this one together. This was a lot of fun, and this is our beautiful little off-center gatefold card. So until next time, happy crafting.